And we're going live on Facebook.
Hey there.
Okay, we are now live on Facebook and Zoom. We're trying to get the screen right here. So thank you for joining us for our Lunch and Learn. My name is Taylor Bunn. I'm the Executive Director of Hope for All. This is Corey Johnson. He's our board president and the founder. So I'm going to ask Corey a few questions. We're going to focus today on our goals for 2024. I know some of you might be new to Hope for All. So just to give you sort of a quick rundown, our mission is to cultivate equal access to hope and opportunity in our communities.
Serving R823 at window 7.
We do serve. If I could get y'all just, if you're in this Zoom room, if you could just mute yourself for now, we will open up for questions at the end of the presentation. So we are focusing primarily in the Grand Prairie area. We do serve in other areas, but we focus primarily on Grand Prairie, and we give back by making financial contributions, offering hands-on support, and raising awareness. We have a newsletter, social media, and we do a monthly Awareness Wednesday video. That's what this is today. We're highlighting ourselves, but you can hop on our YouTube channel to see videos where we've highlighted other organizations as well. And what did I miss? Our service areas are equity, education, equine initiatives, and community development. So we're going to get started with the official programming. We have 3 big goals this year. They're actually carryover goals from 2023. So one of the biggest that I'm really excited about is starting next month, we'll be building 3 attainable homes in the city of Grand Prairie. So Corey, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about the Attainable Housing Project and why that's so important to us?
Yes, we've been working with the City of Grand Prairie Housing Department, I think for about 3 or 4 years. And as we all know, COVID kind of set us back for quite some time. And the city actually was given some land, I think from Dallas County. I think I have my details correct. And there was an old nursing home that had gone bankrupt and had some asbestos in it. Well, that nursing home was torn down, and now there is a site that will make available room for 9 attainable homes. So we work closely with the housing department. We've worked closely with financial institutions. We work closely with Chris Brickman, our general contractor. And frankly, we're going to be ready to go in a couple of months. Looks like the site is ready. Obviously, there needs to be, a few, details to be handled with the housing department, but we're very excited about that. One of our focal points has always been Grand Prairie. It's a community it's a great community. Everybody knows that. And it's a community that's done a tremendous amount for me personally. And so we're excited to give back. And this is one of our major projects.
Yeah, and so the goal of this program is to get people in houses that would not normally qualify to go out and buy a home on their own. So we are working with a federal program. The city's been doing it for decades and has been really successful at that. So we're really looking forward to making a really tangible difference in that way.
And if I can interject one thing, it's been an understandable process, but we are an approved community housing
development
organization for Grand Prairie. Everything from audited financials, we've been in business, we've been operating more than 3 years. So we're really excited that we gained that approval, and we look forward to building many attainable homes in Grand Prairie.
Yep. So our next big goal is to break ground on the Grand Prairie Equine Center. I think a lot of you have heard us talk about that now, but Corey, why don't you, this was a big dream of yours, so.
Yeah, Taylor, it's a vision that I always had that, could we do something, in Grand Prairie that would have an equine focus to it, but also assist, the community and others. And this is, there's a lot of different things that have come together. I mean, there was the Grand Prairie Police Mounted Patrol Unit. They got, they got funding from City Council, and they were looking at a site down by the lake. And so that was, working together. Then we also have met a worldwide expert in equine assistant counseling, and that's Dr. Hallie Shade, and she's with Steps with Horses. So there's a lot of things that, just came together. I guess one of my real interests originally was to have a place for racehorse retirement in, the Grand Prairie area near Lone Star Park. And so we were able to kind of put all those different things together and come up with an equine center project that would meet all those needs.
Yeah, do you want to tell them where it's going to be located?
Yes, it is approximately 1 mile west of Lone Star Park. So those of you probably know where the Wildlife Drive is. It is a road that goes east-west, and it's under construction. They're actually going to build a major road that's going to go from Beltline to the toll road. And that goes right to the north of the property that is ultimately going to be the Grand Prairie Equine Center.
Great. And so our third big goal for 2024 is to create a 5-year strategic plan. Of course, we have the Equine Center, we have attainable housing, but another thing we want to do is make sure we're continuing to keep serving the organizations in Grand Prairie that we've been working with. We've been operable for about 4.5 years now, and we want a really good plan to continue our proprietary projects without letting go of some of the connections we've already made. So Corey, why is strategic planning so important at this stage for Hope for All?
Yeah, it allows us to focus as we move forward, to work on, maybe other big projects will come around. We've had a strategic planning session and board meeting, and, it's not always the fact that when you put together a group of people and you all agree on a certain direction, but this is now that we've had 4 or 5 years that we've been working together, these things kind of crystallize and we move forward. One thing I would like to add is I think a real strength in Grand Prairie is there's so many fine nonprofit organizations. And one of our goals has not only been to support them, because it was rough during COVID, I think, for everybody, but not only support them, but also bring people together within that nonprofit community and promote communication and cooperation and coordination. And it's really gratifying to see that more and more.
Yeah, I agree. And I think so much of what we've done has been collaborative, and we definitely want to keep that going. We're a small organization. A lot of y'all online are small organizations, and I think we've been able to accomplish a lot more by working together and just even opening up lines of communication and things like that. So we'll keep Awareness Wednesday going. We'll keep Community Changemakers Coffee Club going. And we're just really excited about seeing what we can add as we continue to grow.
Right.
So one of the big goals we accomplished in 2023 was opening the Old Friends Welcome Center in Georgetown, Kentucky. So that's something you've been involved with for a really long time. Tell us a little bit about that project, Hope for All's role in it, and what you see, how what you've learned through that will help at the Grand Prairie Equine Center.
Yeah. Old Friends is the most famous racehorse retirement center in the world. There are actually numerous, say, Kentucky Derby winners, Triple Crown winners, Breeders' Cup winners, horses that have won some of the greatest races in the world are at Old Friends, and it's near Lexington, Kentucky. And the founder is Michael Blowen. He's been a friend of mine. I serve on the board of Old Friends. And it is a kind of a living history walking tours. So most racehorse retirement efforts deal solely on from donations or contributions within the industry. Well, Old Friends is actually able to charge an entrance fee for tours of Old Friends because they have these famous racehorses that people want to go see. And one horse that you might know is Silver Charm, who won the Kentucky Derby, I don't know, 27 years ago or something. He's obviously very popular. He's 30 now. And so they've got a lot of other horses that people love to, come out and see. And so about 30 to 40% of the budget or the revenue comes from these tours. And one of the things we were lacking was the real facilities to handle it. For example, when the people went on a tour early on, they had to go to a porta potty if they had to go to the restroom. Well, that's not very competitive with other tourism attractions, let's say, in the area. So they had an old tobacco barn there, and it was right in the middle of where some of their best horses are, and they have a barn there. And it was just that. It had dirt floors, and it was a tobacco barn. So what Hope for All did is we came in and we spent some seed money with some design people, a company called Populous. They're one of the largest sports and entertainment architects in the world. And they also have an equine division, and they're involved when we talk about the Grand Prairie Equine Center. They're right in the middle of all that. So Hope for All comes in, and we spend some design money, kind of figure out what this is going to be. And then ultimately it became $1 million, I'll call it, visitor center. And we learned a lot from that process in construction and raising money and racehorse retirement. And so, and working with government. So we want to take all that knowledge and experience that we've gained and utilize it for the Grand Prairie Equine Center, because it's a little different because of, the twist of the focus on equine assisted counseling for veterans and first responders with PTSD. So that's kind of an added thing. But one of the pieces of it's going to be racehorse retirement. And there's no reason that you can't have a horse that is done with their racing days at Lone Star Park. They may be a horse that, gets involved in the equine assisted counseling.
Right.
So there's not only that, but because of the location, you can bring a horse from Lone Star, bring it to the Grand Prairie Equine Center, and then we have experts that can assess what their next step is, because, a vast majority of these horses, they want to please humans, and they want to have a job. They just may not be fast enough to race or whatever. And they might become a riding horse or hunter jumper or all
police horse.
A police horse, exactly.
Yeah. So you shared with me the other day, we've got some tangible benefits over there, that improving the facility. How did that improve the work at Old Friends?
At Old Friends, okay. Yeah, in the past, I told you it was a little bit rough. And if there was weather or things like that, you just had to, like if you were having a special event, you had to just cancel it. Well, they have an annual birthday party for the most famous horse, Silver Charm, and it was raining, and storming all day. Well, they were able to accommodate about 150 people for that birthday party / fundraiser for Silver Charm. That was about 30 days ago. And plus, now the tours can start and end in this wonderful, welcome center that has nice restrooms and has video. So you can actually see video of the horses and their great races, as well as seeing them in person. So it's been a tremendous benefit. As a matter of fact, Old Friends had a great year last year, and they expect to have an even better one this year, especially with that improvement.
Yeah, and so that's one of the big things for us at the Equine Center for Steps with Horses and Hope for All as we do the racehorse aftercare is right now Steps with Horses is very much exposed to the elements. And so if the weather gets really bad, they have to cancel sessions. And so by having a nice new facility with a covered arena and more space in the stalls, they won't have to cancel sessions either. So that's huge for them. And one thing we're gonna steal from old friends is they have this beautiful wall of fame in the Welcome Center that honors their donor. So that's something we're going to be able to do at the Grand Prairie Equine Center. So if you're somebody that likes to see your name on stuff, we'll keep communicating with you how you can get on that donor wall of fame. Anything you want to say before we open it up for questions?
No, I usually find that the most interesting part of any situation like this is the questions that you get, because
Yeah,
if you've got a question, probably someone else
that's
on
exactly
the
right.
call has the same question.
That's right. So if you are on Facebook, feel free to put your questions in the comments there and we'll read them out. And then if you're on Zoom, you can either put your questions in the comments or wave your hand frantically like Miss Patty McLean is doing at Grand Prairie United Charities. Patty, did you have a question?
I do have a very important question,
Ready.
Corey.
Yeah.
But before I tell you ask you my important question, I just want to say what a heartfelt thank you it is to Hope for All and all they do, not just for our charity and all the charities, but especially for Taylor, that she's nice and smart, so I can pick her brain on a regular basis and learn stuff. So we really, really appreciate you. I love to ride and don't have a place to ride. So when you get this done, will you please put my name on the list to exercise?
Perfect. Perfect. And can
I'm so excited about this and that you're breaking ground and this dream is finally almost touchable. It's so exciting. But my most important question is, Corey, where are you from? Because I have a little accent.
Well, I grew up in Tacoma, Washington, which is up near Seattle. And then when I was 20, I headed south to get out of the rain, candidly, and went to Arizona State University, and then have worked in the horse racing industry ever since I got out of college. And that took me to places like Chicago, Louisiana, Oklahoma, Texas, Kentucky. So I'm not sure. People have said that before. They say you do have an accent, and I don't know if I got a little Texas in me or if it's a cross between Washington State and Texas. I'm not sure, but
he's a man of the world.
Patty,
I did not know you liked to ride horses. So
I broke my nose and still rode on horses.
Very good.
It's a long story, but thank you guys for all you do. I appreciate you and put me on the list.
You got it.
And we plan to have volunteers at the Grand Prairie Equine Center. There'll be a number of ways that will come about. And so for example, we plan to work closely with the Grand Prairie School District. And, we could even have career days out there, or we could talk about having interns that want to know more about horses, or it could be someone that's interested in maybe someday being a veterinarian or a veterinarian assistant or a technician. I mean, we are going in our building, we're going to have a room where we can handle events and we can have, students come in. I mean, one of the things that I saw in Lexington, Kentucky, which admittedly is different than the situation in Grand Prairie, every sixth grader goes to the Keeneland racetrack, and they also have a sales pavilion there. So every sixth grader is introduced to different careers in agriculture, horses, or whatever. Well, there's no reason why we can't come up with some type of curriculum and do a similar thing in Grand Prairie. Then we've also, we talked about equine assisted counseling. They have, I don't know, they have a lot of volunteers already.
They do. They've got a robust volunteer program.
Yeah. And so we're one of the reasons we're doing this, we're allowing them to expand the number of people that they can serve. So we're going to need more volunteers, but we're going to need volunteers in the racehorse retirement area. We're going to need maybe they're former educators that are retired and they want to give back, and they want to come in and, you know, teach classes on different things or introduce the kids to different careers. So you can see where the vision is and really the blue sky is out there for this project.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of ways to get engaged. And if you have a way you want to get engaged and haven't thought of, let us know. I'm going to go to Facebook comments, and then I'll come back to the Zoom comment. So we've got, okay, let me see. There was a Bonaire said Taylor and Hope for All have done an amazing job at bringing our community together. Thank you. I'm pretty sure that's my girl Marcella there. Thank you, Marcella. Star says, if you have not signed up for the newsletter, please do so. Yes, we send out a monthly newsletter. We share information about us, and then we also share information about other nonprofits in the area. So you can get to that on www.hopeforall.us. It's the first little box that pops up when you go on our website. And if you want to post anything in the newsletter, just email me at taylor@hopeforall.us. And Star, thank you. She put it in the chat box there. She says, great content in the newsletter. Star Williams is on our board. So, okay, let me see what's going on over here in the Zoom comments. So Tammy says, thank you for all you do. How many accessible housing units do you plan? So good question, Tammy. We are currently one of 2 or 3 other community housing development organizations. So this first round, we are going to be building for sure 3 homes. We do have plans to do more over the years. It depends a little bit on how land comes through. So we're working with the city on that, but hopefully, I mean, over the next 5 years, 20.
Yeah, I really believe that we're very blessed in Grand Prairie to have a strong, a strong staff at the city.
Yes.
And these people really care, and they want to get people in attainable homes, and they're a key component of this. And they're working on trying to get different sites. And so there's a chance that we could do as many as 5 attainable homes a year.
Yeah. So there are, what was that? I just lost my train of thought.
Can I interject something?
Yes.
Okay, we talked about the newsletter. What I have found about Grand Prairie is that people enjoy living there and want to give back to the community. And sometimes you have to communicate what they can do. And that's why our Hope for All e-newsletter is so important, because it's not just about us, it's about all kinds of different nonprofits. And I think we're all seeing more and more that if we work together, we're going to raise the level of the water for everybody.
Exactly.
And it's happening.
It is.
I really believe that.
Yeah, there's a real team spirit in Grand Prairie.
There really is.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. Hey, 2 Kills on. Hi, 2 Kills, one of my oldest friends, and I haven't seen him in a long time. All right. Tammy, back to your questions. Where in Grand Prairie? Southwest 3rd. How can people apply to rent? These are homes for sale. So this is not a rental program. This is for people that have a history with the housing department in Grand Prairie and have been determined to be ready to make a purchase. So these will be homes that we will be selling. And will there be a voucher type of program? Not for what you're looking for. Tammy is with Grand Prairie Homeless Outreach Organization. So that's a different type of need. So this is, I'll leave it at that. It's a different type of need. So this is going to be for the individuals and families that are ready to purchase homes. But if you have questions about that program, as far as how you can apply to be a part of it, who can qualify, those questions can be directed to the City of Grand Prairie Neighborhood Services Housing Department. Sorry, guys, my niece was calling me from college. All right, let's see. Britt says, Taylor, can you mention the November fundraiser for the Equine Center? Yes. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, sure. As you know, about a year ago, we had a very successful fundraiser for the Grand Prairie Equine Center. And we plan to have another one in this fall in November. There is a chance that we could combine our activities with the fact that it's the 20th anniversary of the Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships when it was at Lone Star Park. So I think we could have a celebration of that. We could have a really nice fundraiser. You know, we would want to honor the many people in Grand Prairie that were so important to gaining the Breeders' Cup and then having one of the most successful Breeders' Cups in history. And so more details to come, but we're working on that. You know, the other thing we hope to do is that, and I've learned this with old friends, is that there are people in the horse racing business or industry or horse fans. And if you have the right type of memorabilia, you can go on a place like eBay and have auctions, you know, and so we might do some things with Breeders' Cup memorabilia, either, you know, leading up to that fundraiser or as part of that fundraiser. But at Old Friends, I mean, they make tens of thousands of dollars every year, and their memorabilia is not even as good as what we could have. You're laughing, but I mean, really,
That's
it's,
right.
I mean, it's a long story, but you know, I can get silks that were actually worn by the jockey in some of those events, and they were truly great horses that ran that day, and you know, signed and framed and everything. And you know, those are
We're
some
gonna
of
have
those
some
are
good stuff, prestige items.
yeah, and so you could see now it's going to be a real fun theme, and I see no reason why we can't have a very successful
Yeah.
fundraiser.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things that we have also done, this is a multi-million-dollar project, and I want to stress this: the Crow Family Realty Company is contributing the land there. And if those of you, it's kind of hard to get to, but they're building a lot of warehouses there. And there's about 4 or 5 acres near, right to the west of where all the warehouses are going to be. And then we've got about another 20 or so acres that are in the floodplain that's owned by the city of Grand Prairie. And we have to get Corps of Engineer approval to be able to utilize that, but we don't foresee any problems. So it'll be used for grazing and won't have any structures on that 20 acres. So we can,
Yeah.
utilize that. But, Taylor and I have spent a lot of time, and she has a great expertise in writing grants. And there are a lot of wealthy people in thoroughbred racing, and actually, I know a lot of them. So I think we're going to have some doors open to us. And when you think about just the fact that we're going to benefit, veterans and first responders and racehorses, and I mean, there's a lot of people. Those are compelling issues, for people, and
Yeah.
we've already done our
Yeah.
our prep work.
Yeah, it's a large capital campaign for us. So we will be launching that, doing a hard launch on the capital campaign soon. So you'll all be made aware of that and the opportunities to engage in getting that project off the ground. Corey, who was the president at Lone Star Park when the Breeders' Cup came through?
Me. So
That's right.
yeah.
That was Corey. That was Corey Johnson.
Yeah.
Corey Johnson. I also want to shout out Britt, who, he actually walked away, but Britt reminded us to plug the fundraiser. He is our board secretary and does a great job. And speaking of last year's fundraiser, Miss Patty McLean and Mr. Barry Sanders were huge helps in volunteering to get that off the ground. So thank you both for that. We are almost at time, and I don't know if Zoom is going to kick me out or not, but are there any other questions? Again, you can type them in the comments or just come off mute and shout them out. Well, we thank you for joining us today, and just reach out if you have any questions. Thanks to all of you for what you do for your communities and for coming to learn a little bit more about what Hope for All has coming down the pike. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.